Welcome to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. This show is brought to you by Oakley Trucking, headquartered in North Little Rock, Arkansas. The purpose of this podcast is to communicate with Oakley owner-operators and their families by giving them up-to-date information concerning Oakley trucking and the trucking industry. From business advice to safety updates to success stories. Also to give an insight to outside truck drivers that might be interested in joining the Oakley family. Hi, I'm Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode 27, and on today's podcast, got a couple different things going on. One, we're going to talk to a gentleman named Peterbilt Steve. He's got one of the best 389 Peterbilt inventories in the country. He's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're going to learn how he does things, how he prepares a truck to sell, and why he has one of the best inventories there is. So we're going to get with him a little bit later. But first, let's check in with Vickie Chastain for this week's Need to Know segment.
Oakley Trucking has many options and multiple divisions to fit your needs. Whether you are pulling an in-dump, hopper bottom, pneumatic tank, running regional, or over the road. Swapping divisions, that's this week's Need to Know segment. Every division is different when it comes to pay and running area or home time. One good thing about changing divisions is you get to change jobs but never have to leave the company. If you are considering swapping divisions, have questions about the divisions, give us a call and we can help you gather the information needed to make the best decision for you and your family. I am Vickie Chastain, and that's this week's Need to Know segment.
I would like to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. It's working out great. I've actually had two guys come in the office this morning and say they were listening to it and it was going really good and they were enjoying it and getting all the detailed information about Oakley. And one guy said, "Hey, I like you guys talking about how we can better ourselves as an owner operator, make more money, tires, fuel, all that kind of stuff." So great feedback. I appreciate him doing that. You guys give us some feedback on what you want to hear from inside Oakley here, and we'll be glad to try to do it. If you're having problems listening to the episode, which I guess you wouldn't be listening to this, but, try to share it with people so we can get the word out. We've had a couple guys that we actually send the email out to, and they're having a tough time listening to it. One link, you click on the link and it sends you somewhere else. So if you're having those issues and you don't know how to do it, man, let us know. Come in here. We'll show you how to do it. Ask a friend, because we want everybody to be able to listen to this and listen to it easy is the thing, be able to get it out to you. But also go to our YouTube channel. So we're starting to put all these up on YouTube. We got a lot of videos, so you need to subscribe to YouTube for sure. And then find this podcast on your favorite platform, whether it's Apple or Stitcher or whatever, and subscribe to that. So that way every week you get a notification so you can listen and share the podcast. So the other thing I was wanting to talk about before we get to Peterbilt Steve here in a little bit, I want to talk about fuel discounts. And I got Corey going to join me here real quick to help me with some numbers and stuff. But the thing I want you owner operators to understand is we negotiate fuel discounts with all the truck stops. Sometimes they come to us. Sometimes we go to them. Used to years ago, they would not give an owner operator company a fuel discount because we can't control where you go fuel. They only wanted to give company drivers or companies that had company trucks, because then they could tell the guy where to go fuel. And so, but eventually they realized the owner operator market is a huge market, and they started coming to us going, "Hey, we want to give you guys some fuel discounts." But the other side of that is they need us to pump so many gallons to them. Well, that's hard to do. I can't tell you guys where to go fuel. So mine and Corey's goal is to give you a lot of options to choose from. And that's what we've done over the years. And they've gotten aggressive on giving Oakley owner operators some good fuel discounts. And it is, it saves a lot of money. It puts a lot of money in your pocket. And these fuel discounts go straight to you. I mean, they're done through EFS, which is your fuel card. So it just comes right out of your settlement. We don't get any part of any fuel discount because we don't buy any fuel. So I think you kind of need to know that. It's a constant deal of trying to negotiate with them to get better discounts for our owner operators. But I just want to go through them here so you know. And I mean, hey, this is subject to change in 6 months, 3 months, whenever they decide to. But I want to go through some fuel discounts to make sure you guys understand what kind of fuel discounts we're getting right now as of this moment. And it's been very consistent for the last several years. Just once in a while, they change some things up. You've got, you got your three major ones. You got the Pilot Flying J, which I think is one. Then you got the T8 Petro, I think is one. And then you got Loves. So that's what we get fuel discounts, the biggest fuel discounts from. But there's also some little ones out there that we get fuel discounts from. Let's see. They are Ambest Locations, Roadie's Truck Stop, Iowa 80 Truckomat. Well, we only got 2 Truckomats that give us discounts. The one in North Little Rock and the one in Effingham, Illinois. They give Oakley owner-operators a great fuel discount. So that's Effingham, Illinois, and North Little Rock is for the Truckomat. We've got, so here, let's go down the list here. Of course, there's some other little ones too. Cash Magic, Fuel City, Sap Brothers, Petroleum Wholesale. That the majority of the fuel comes from the 3 big ones: Loves, Pilot Flying J, T8 Petro. That's where the majority of the gallons. And you guys, just so you know, you fuel about 1.2 million gallons a month is how much you buy. And that's a lot of fuel. Wow, isn't that a lot of fuel, Corey?
A lot.
That's a lot of fuel. And it just mounts up to a huge savings for you guys. And I hope you see that on your settlement. We try to make it simple for you to understand on your settlement there. Corey, what do you think some of the best discounts we're getting? You got any examples over there we could give these guys?
I do. So just looking at Arkansas here, obviously this is where we're at. So let's see here. The 161 exit out there where the Galloway is, the Loves out there currently is $1.73. So that's a 61-cent discount.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's excellent. And then, right there with them, the Petro is $1.71. So it's a 64-cent discount.
So, the key is getting that fuel discount. You seeing what how much you're saving, like the 61. That's huge right there when you can see it. That's off the pump price.
Right.
And that's what they got to know. Now, and today, just so they can put it in perspective, today is September 15th.
Right.
So this episode will be out next week. And the fuel prices have a tendency to change, but you got.
And can change every day.
Yeah. So let's give them an example. So the Loves gives us what? Cost plus 1 cent?
1 cent.
Now, okay, guys, I know what you're thinking. Cost. I don't know either. That's just what they tell us is, hey, you're getting our cost, plus we're charging you 1 cent. Now, whether that's the case or not, I feel like it is. I trust them. I mean, that's what they're telling us. So you're getting a cost plus 1 cent. That means whatever their cost is, and they send us that daily. They actually send it to EFS daily to where it updates. So the fuel you get's accurate. So Loves is a cost plus 1. At every Loves, except I'm going to tell you, we get a better, I forgot about this, Corey, we get a better discount at the Loves over in Weber Falls, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And it seemed like there's one more. It's a cost plus 0, I think. So we got a little bit, because I hit them up. Y'all do so many gallons over there at Weber's Falls. I was able to go in and get a better discount at that location. So I do remember that. So, and then Pilot Flying J. Now, Pilot Flying J, they're trying, and they're trying hard to get our gallons. But here's what the most recent deal they've done with us, and this just started this month, right, Corey?
It did, yeah. I sent an email out to everybody a couple weeks ago, I guess, start of September, noting that. So,
sent it to all our owner operators.
Sure
So
did.
you want to tell them what that discount is?
Sure. So, they're trying to be competitive there with the Loves, and it's going to be a cost plus one at all Texas locations, just to kind of on a trial basis, to see how that works. If they can start getting some gallons, and then, hopefully in the future, maybe towards the end of the year, and after that, maybe cost plus one throughout everywhere, kind of like the Loves is, to give you more options there.
So what they're trying to do, folks, is they're trying to, instead of giving you cost plus one everywhere, they're a little hesitant to do that for whatever reason. They're giving you cost plus one in Texas only for Pilot Flying J. Now, for years, this has been 25 cents off of the retail price. And it still is that in every other state besides Texas. Texas, you're going to get very competitive pricing with Pilot Flying J compared to Love's TA Petro. But if you're not in Texas with Pilot Flying J, you're going to get 25 cents off the retail. And what else they're doing is they're trying to help you is they are giving you 12 times the reward points. So you should be getting 12 times reward points. That's 12 points for every gallon that you should be getting. So they've come to the table and are trying better. What they see is if they get the gallons at the end of the month, then they'll give us more. That's the deal.
That's right.
Well, that's the way it works, is they want the gallons. So just trying to educate y'all on that. What about the TA Petro, Corey? Where we at on that?
The TA Petro currently in here in North Little Rock is they're at $1.71, so 64-cent discount right now.
Man, that's awesome.
And that's coming off the pump price of $2.35 a gallon.
What do they give us overall? Cost plus. They give us a cost plus 0 or retail minus 28, whichever is better at the place you're going. Well, right now, every place just about is going to be better with a cost plus, just the way fuel is and oil is right now. So you're going to get the cost plus instead of the retail minus 28, but you get the better of those two discounts. And there's just a couple of those locations out there that are independently owned Petro. There's not very many, but there's a few of them out there, and they don't give us those discounts. So just look on your TransFlow app or look at the website, either one that we have, so you can verify what that fuel price is, because you definitely want to get the best price you can around there.
Right. And also, if you've got any discrepancies on any of that stuff, I think, I sent you an email earlier this week, had a driver, I can't remember who it is now, but he sent me a copy of his fuel receipt and was like, "Hey man, I didn't get my points." And there's all kinds of glitches that go that happen during that stuff. So I mean, we just I forwarded it to our rep, and he took care of it and got the points forwarded back to the driver. So if you have any issues with that, sure, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. That was an easy fix. So just pay attention to your receipts that you're getting your reward points, so you'll know for sure. And on the TA Petro, you're also supposed to be getting 5 times the reward points, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So Love's, cost plus 1, no reward points. Pilot Flying J, cost plus 1 only in Texas. Everywhere else is a retail minus 25 cents off the pump, but you do get 12 times the reward points, even in Texas, right, Corey?
No. It is only 1 reward point in Texas.
Oh, okay. All right. Good info.
Yes.
1 reward point. So they do the cost plus 1 in Texas and 1 reward point.
Correct.
25 cents off the retail price everywhere else in the country.
Everywhere else, and then 12 reward
12.
points.
Okay. All right.
Those locations.
And then the TA Petro is cost plus 0. They've gotten real competitive here lately.
Sure have.
Or retail minus 28, and you get 5 times the reward points with them. any Ambest locations, we do about 15,000 gallons a month with them. Some of you guys go there, and they're pretty competitive in some places for sure. So pay attention. Definitely use the website. You can save yourself a whole lot of money if you use these. There was two Pilot Flying J's while I'm thinking about this before I quit this.
There's one in Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here's one in all the Pilot Express locations. No, they don't qualify for this. We don't get any discount with them. But there's one in Rochester, Indiana. It's only a 20-cent discount. And the one in Kansas City, Missouri is only a 20-cent discount.
Right.
That is the Pilot Flying J. So every other place is 25. Texas is cost plus one. So giving you guys an update on fuel. Be sure and, check out the website. Make sure your TransFlow app's working. It's something that we work hard at to find you guys some discounts because it's a great recruiting tool, great retention tool, and we want to get you guys the best discounts we possibly can. Overall, just to give you an overall here is, let's say this month right here. Which one is this? This is for August. So we did 1,000,002 gallons, and you did Pilot Flying J was 260,000 gallons. Love's was 700,000 gallons. TA Petro's 167,000 gallons. So that's the majority of it right there to give you an idea of the discounts that you're getting and where the gallons are going. This is what number always baffles me every month is we pump 60,000 gallons to where we have no discounts.
Come on.
I'm telling you. We pump 60,000 gallons to places that we get no discount. So that's either you were out in the middle of nowhere, you couldn't get back to something, or I know there's some mom and pop places that do have some cheap fuel.
That happens.
That happens, but pay attention, save yourself some money. We want to try to work with you. If you have problems with your fuel discounts, you don't understand them, you don't know what they are, you have problems with TransFlow app, EFS, man, let us know. Talk to me, Jeremy Kellett, or talk to Corey Huey, and we'll be glad to fix you up. Okay, we're joined by Peterbilt Steve out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Excellent, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man. First of all, I saw your website. I get on your YouTube channel, and I'm watching some of your videos, and the first thing I think of is this guy has got some good-looking Peterbilts over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and how you make them look that good, I don't know, but I tell you, I know we have a lot of Oakley owner-operators that are Peterbilt fans, and JP actually brought me to your attention, or to my attention, and I was like, we might ought to talk to Peterbilt Steve and see what's going on over in Tulsa. And JP said, well, I'd like to know his last name. So I said, well, we'll find that out. Let's get Steve's. So, Steve, can you give us your last name and a little bit of history on you and kind of what you're up to right now?
Sure. My real name is Steve Carbone, and I've been in the Tulsa area most of my life, and better part of 45 years, and been around trucks. I've been around all kinds of automotive stuff my whole life. My dad was a professional drag racer when I was born, and I've been around hot rods and race cars and all that stuff my whole life. And in my early 20s, I was a Snap-on tool dealer, and it was my first opportunity to be around big trucks because I had the Peterbilt dealership, Freightliner, Kenworth, Mack. I just was fortunate, had all of those in my route, and just really fell in love with trucks. And when it was time for Snap-on and I to part ways, I tried to find something to do in the truck industry and went to work for a little mom and pop selling trucks. Did that for a couple of years and ended up over at the international store for about 11 years. And then now I've been over at Peterbilt for about 8. And of course, no matter where I was always a fan of the big hood Peterbilt. And once I got over there and got settled in, and I kind of had a little bit of a vision and went to management and was like, hey, the elite owner operator, I really think there's an opportunity there. And we just kind of took baby steps, and here it is, 7-8 years later, and we're fortunate enough to be the number one 389 store in the country. And we build some really good looking hot rods.
I've seen them. They do look good.
Yeah. We've got a dedicated shop completely separate from our 30 bay shop that does regular maintenance. There's a whole separate shop that all they do is chrome and paint and pumps and PTOs and all that stuff. And that's really what sets us apart, because we can dedicate all those resources just to the style of truck that we like to build. And
who comes up with the designs, Steve? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but who, you get a Peterbilt in and you go, hey, I think I want it to look like this. Is that you? Mostly you?
It started off mostly me, and now some of my teammates. We kind of round table a lot of it. There's not enough time in the day. We'll kick out 500 custom trucks a year. There's no way one guy can handle that. Two guys couldn't. So it's truly a team effort. My big joy is when the guy has the luxury of taking if time is on his side and he can order a truck and we can cater it exactly the way he wants it. That's where the real fun is for me. But we also, in trucking, it doesn't matter what side you're on or what you're doing. It's always a now industry. And you got to have them sitting there, because a lot of times guys don't have time to wait.
Right. So y'all they order the trucks like they want it, or you get kind of a base model Peterbilt and then you add all this stuff to it?
Well, and what's the concept, the perception, when people say base model, every Peterbilt on every dealership, doesn't matter where it is, when a truck gets ordered, there's not, say, an F-150 style Lariat or a Silverado package. They don't offer those things. You start with 2 blank frame rails and you add every single component all the way to the end. And that's why owner operators who are they're so aware of all the options and the things they need. They're very particular shoppers, and I think we've done a great job of listening to them over the years and knowing what they want. The funniest little thing on a truck, if it doesn't have this one little specific option, the truck will sit there for months and months, because owner operators will walk away from it. And
that owner operators, I guess, is your audience. That's who you sell mostly to, is owner operators.
I personally, I don't have a single fleet account. I've got folks like you that provide me, 4, 5, 6, 8 customers a year. And I've got some 10, 12, 15 truck fleets that have owner operator style trucks. But the big mega fleets, all that stuff, fool's not the right word. I don't deal with them just because that's not my passion. The owner operator is the customer I want and who I cater to.
I've noticed, which I think is a great idea that you've done. I was looking through all your videos, and I mean, you just record it with your phone and you go all around that truck, inside and out. It may be a 15, 20-minute video of all the details that you do on that truck. And that is pretty neat. Has doing that helped your business a whole lot, just by doing that specific thing?
It absolutely caught me off guard. It provided me more business than I'd ever expect. And where that came from was when I spent all those years at International, I came over to Peterbilt, and I know trucks pretty well at that point. And I'd go grab lunch, and I'd sit in my pickup, and I'd call dealers on the East Coast, and I'd call a salesman and look at it good or bad, however you would, but I'd pose as a truck buyer. And so many of these guys couldn't tell me anything. And then I go home in the evening, I'd call the West Coast dealers. Same thing. I mean, these guys, they could tell me wheelbase, gear ratio, horsepower, and transmission. That was it. They couldn't get into details for nothing. So I just sat out for a year, or went on for a year, and every day, whether it was at work or home, I'd get on the Peterbilt program, and I'd think up a truck and I'd build a truck. And after about a year, I just got real intimate with all the ins and outs and how everything worked and the details and all the workings, and applied that to what I do every day, and here we are. But the YouTube views is that I totally put that out there to try and educate buyers, and hopefully that they'd see some value in my knowledge and maybe give me a call. Never in a million years do I think it would do what it has done. I looked the other day, it's 16 million views.
Yeah, there's a bunch. We were looking at those too. Well, Steve, what all do you do to a truck to get it ready to sell?
Oh, when a truck comes in, of course, if it's something for a specific customer, I've already got a game plan laid out on the extras. But if it's my stock inventory, we'll have the same thing. We'll have a plan laid out for that also. We do most trucks get a custom front bumper, custom visor, custom roof lights. They come from the factory with 5 roof lights. We'll do 7, 9, 13. Some trucks will order without lights on the top, and we'll put little lights in the visor. Of course, we put the lights under the cab and the sleeper. We've been painting a lot of fuel tanks lately.
I noticed that in the one. I looked at that yellow one you had, that you had yellow fuel tanks and the yellow DEF tank. And one thing I noticed that was pretty cool that I had never seen was you painted the quarter fender white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. That looked good.
My paint shop guys and one of my other guys, they said, "Hey, I think we should do this." And I kind of tilted my head and I go, "Eh." And they go, "Come on, let us do it. Let's do it." And I'm like, "Okay, do it." And we've done it 10 times since. It came out fantastic.
How hard is it for a guy to get into one of your trucks?
A new truck, whether it's one of my Peterbilts or a Kenworth or a Freightliner or whatever it is, they all pretty well want the same thing. You got to have your affairs in order. You can't come with a big pile of messy credit.
Yep.
You can't have tax liens. You can't have owed child support. Your debt to income's got to be pretty good. You can't be maxed out. If you've got your affairs in order, and not to get too far off track, driving experience means more to commercial truck lenders really than a credit score. It doesn't overcome a bad credit score, but it means more. I've had guys that have driven for 6 months with perfect credit and a pile of cash to put down, and I can't get him financed. Nobody wants to touch him. I'll have a guy with middle of the road credit, a decent down payment, but he's been driving for the same company for 12 years. They know he's not changing professions. So yeah, they'll give that guy a shot. So it's a delicate balance, and as consumers, we've all been taught over the years, if you have this score or this down payment or whatever it takes, you can have this much house or you can have this much car, so on and so forth. They don't have that matrix for commercial truck financing, especially for an owner operator. Somebody actually looks at your credit report and looks at what you've been doing, how you've handled yourself financially, and they'll make a personal decision on that.
Well, that commercial lending has always been a little tricky. We've dealt with a lot of dealerships over the years, and you're exactly right. I mean, they got to have their ducks in a row to be able to get it, especially a brand new truck. Like the majority of yours are brand new. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we do used, and I do sell used, but new is 90% of what I sell a year, and it comes across a little brash to some guys, but I also tell them, if you can't get your personal affairs in order, how do you expect to run a truck? Because you're not going to do one and not do the other.
That's great to hear from a truck salesman, I'm telling you.
Well, no, it's just the truth. Owning a truck is not going to change your life and make you a better bookkeeper. You're either good at it or you're not, and this industry, you have to walk before you run. Our commercial lenders will even tell you, the first time they approve you, you're going to pay a little more in rate because you're new. Once you prove to us that you can handle yourself, next truck you buy, we'll treat you a lot better on the rate. And they always stick to it.
Well, that's the way a lot of them should be. I mean, you just, with the way the trucking industry is, and a lot of guys are not bookkeepers, that it makes a big difference. They got to be. We've talked about that before on this podcast, that you got to be able to manage your money and to do it right. Because we've got a group of guys here, Steve, that they'll have brand new trucks every 3-4 years. And then you got other guys that, can't put a tire on, and they make the same amount of money. We pay them the same. So, that's a frustrating part. Well, how about after the sale? To me, when we deal with dealerships, we always like guys that help take care of these truck drivers after the sale, because you know how it is. You've been doing it a long time. I mean, there's always that little something that you gotta take care of after the sale. Are you guys good at doing that?
Yeah, especially in my group at our dealership, we're all very good at it. I try and pride myself on it. I always try and put myself in the customer's position. Just like this past Sunday, I had a 4-axle guy. He's under a military load. And something happened, and he needed help trying to find a rental while his was getting taken care of. I'm at the lake with my family. Is that what I want to do? No. Is that what I need to do? Yes. So took a little time out and helped him as best I could, and it's just part of it. I understand most every single truck that I sell costs more than my house, and I know that truck is a tool for my customer to feed their family. And I know what that means. I know what the gravity of that is. So I try to put myself in their shoes anytime there's an issue of any kind. I know I work for Rush, and a lot of people have the perception, well, I had this bad experience at this one store, and I'll never do business with Rush again. And it happens. We've got 50 plus Peterbilt locations and over 40 international locations. They're not all great. Some of them are not as good as others. Some of them are great. And that's going to happen. But that does give me leverage. Say if a guy had a Cummins issue and the Peterbilt store, wherever he was, can't get to it, I can get you in my international store, and we can take care of that, or vice versa. So we have options. Being the largest retailer of commercial trucks in the U.S., that does give me some options. It also gives me some headaches, like as you could imagine. But overall, I think we can service anybody better after the sale, just because we have better options. And
great, yeah, you got better resources to take care of it. Good. I got 2 more quick questions for you, and then we got to go. One is, how about a family? You got a family and hobbies? Tell us about your family.
My wife and I just, let's see, we're getting ready to celebrate our 26th anniversary next month. Got 2 daughters, awesome. 18, 22. They both just left for college 2 months ago. I think I was worried about their mama, but I think she's handling it better than I am. And then, I told you, been around race cars and stuff my whole life. My dad was a professional world champion drag racer, and then when I was 9 years old, I started raced till I was 35. My girls raced go-karts for a few years, sat out again, and then recently got back into racing 4 years ago with a dirt car. And we run the one of the biggest racing events in the world, the Chili Bowl here in Tulsa. And I know a lot of your guys are race fans. I mean, so many people in the trucking industry at the races. It's pretty great. But yeah, that's about it.
Good. Last question is, how do they get a hold of you, Steve?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is to call or text me, 918-808-5638. I'm just like right now, I am on the phone all day. Don't be offended if I don't answer your phone call. Don't leave me a voicemail. Text is always best. If you shoot me a text, it might be 2 hours from now, but I will get back to you.
Oh, good. Good to know. Well, man, I sure appreciate you taking time to visit with us a little bit on this stuff. I'm thoroughly impressed with you. I can tell you that, Steve. You sound like you're well spoken. You know your stuff. I've looked just what I've met you and looked at your website. I mean, YouTube channel. You really do things right, and we appreciate any time meeting people like you that's in the trucking business to help prosper these owner-operators and make it better for them. And I can tell you do that, man, and I appreciate you being on the podcast with us. And guys, appreciate y'all tuning in to the podcast this week. If you got any questions, anything about Peterbilt Steve, you give him a call. You can give us a call up here at the office, and we look forward to talking to you next week. Appreciate y'all listening. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate or review the show in the podcast platform of your choice and share it with a friend. We love hearing from our audience, so if you've got a question, comment, or just want to say hello, head over to our website, theoakleypodcast.com, and click the Leave a Comment button. We'll get you a response soon and may even share some of the best ones here on the show. We'll be back with a fresh episode very soon. Thanks for listening.